What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show. What's up, Manny?
What happened? Was
I don't
like my
know. StreamYard is doing some crazy stuff, so I don't
oh,
know. I don't know what's going on.
I was waiting for the intro. I was like, and then all of a sudden he just jumped in.
It
Hey,
just it
you know
just
what?
happened.
That's life, though. Sometimes things just pop out of nowhere, right?
That's it. We're here. We're here,
That's right.
and we got a guest
Um,
tonight. I'm excited about our guest tonight. I like Eric. So
you know what? I miss you. Spent like what 3 weeks. So we
three
apologize
three
for.
weeks. It's only been one
Was it
week.
was it was it 1 week or 2 weeks?
Where have you been? It's been 1 week.
It felt like a long time. Anyways, I
One.
miss you, and I missed
Yeah.
being on
I,
here with everyone.
I know. I know. I did last week was you saw me the week before. The week before you were like, dude, you look tired. It's been a grind. It's been a grind. End of the month last week too, and
Yeah.
we failed a bunch of times. We had a bunch of cars we were trying to get out for the end of the month, and it just didn't happen. So
No.
it just makes our month better this month. That's all.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. How's business?
Business is good. I mean, it's 6 o'clock here for me, so I just like finished up my day. I just got out from trying to fix this big Mercedes motorhome van. Big dent on the top of the door. The client had a ladder backed up into something, crushed the ladder into the door. You took off the ladder, and then there was like two dents. Anyways, you know me, I take up on anything.
I said
and
this to Mandy before the show. I said, as the old wise man dent guy, sometimes you look at jobs and you say, is it worth that $700 repair, or is it worth me falling off the ladder and breaking my ankle and sitting home for 6 months? Sometimes you start to learn what to pick. Even a big dent, you look at a big dent and you're like, man, I'm going to struggle on that. Is it worth like a week of having a heating pad in bed and not feeling good? It's not always worth that, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
you'll
was
learn.
at one point I was on top of the ladder. I'm like, geez, if I fall from this thing, I'm like,
You're done.
it's not gonna be pretty. I'm like,
Your wife will
so
kill you.
yeah, yeah.
She will
So
kill you.
and then the worst part is after like 3 hours of fighting that dent, it was a stretch dent, had a big dome, and it was just like, oh, come on, Other than that, it's been a
It
great
happens.
week. I just, it always happens to us, right? Like you go one after the other, you're knocking them out, impressing everyone. Everyone's like, wow, man, he just, and then bam,
Yep.
come across that one that is just like,
Get yourself checked.
yep, yep. Other
So
than that, everything's good.
I had a guest in the shop yesterday. I had Mike Mack from Kiko stop by. He's in town training a bunch of my body shops to take all my work away from me. So like I told him, I said, some of my body shops have been trying to glue pull dents that are PDR dents, not body repair dents.
Mm.
And, I'm going in and cleaning them up and fixing it. And Mike's like, so how do you handle that? I said, they get the Kiko glue pull price then. That's a whole nother ballgame. Like you take a regular dent, you tear it up because you think you're a glue pulling master, and it takes me 3 hours to fix it. You get the Kiko price. That's all. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. You get the Kiko price. He started laughing. So it was cool to sit. He hung out at the shop for a little while, just kind of chill and BS about PDR. And he's a big like Honda, had a bunch of Hondas, and so we get along really well. So
Nice.
that was cool. Another thing I want to mention is Anson's open houses this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
Yeah, it's in here.
We're just too busy.
I was supposed to be there too. Another event that I was supposed to be there.
That's what I said to John Vidine. I said, he's like, I can't believe it. Everybody's calling me. I can't believe you're not going. And I was like, bro, I can't even explain it. Like if I miss 2 days, we're in big trouble. Like it's just, we're just too busy all the way around. So,
it's going to be a great event. I mean,
it's going to be huge.
Just to start out with, Anson's just, awesome family, and they definitely do great in hosting the event. Their hospitality, it's off the
Next
roof.
level. Next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So I do have something I want to bring on, and I've talked about it once or twice before, and it's a product that I'm in love with now. And Manny, you've been on this journey with me. You were there at MT when we sat in the class. I'm telling you right now, I had a bunch of BMWs, and the color match for this touch up was perfect. Exact
Really?
color. Even Mikey was like, damn, it turned out so good. You know what I mean? So some of you PDR guys, some of you guys that are doing PPF, this Dr. Color chip system, I'm telling you right now, I haven't been so excited about a product in a long time. It just works, dude. It's really, really good. It's just the whole system all the way around. So you kind of can see the different paints. Let me set this down before I make a mess. But they give you everything. They give you like a prep solution. So you prep the panel with this. A lot of the BMW, a lot of European colors. I mean, you can kind of see.
Yeah.
So it's worked really, really well, even in the PDR end of it. I've been selling it more on the PDR side than I thought I would. Usually I'm like, go get the touch up from the dealer and then come back in. We've been working it right from this. It's taken some learning curve, because you're really putting the paint on the panel, and then you're taking your squeegee and squeegeeing it in the chip. And
do you do the same when you have like multiple chips? Like you just squeegee it all
squeegee
around?
it all on, and
Really?
it looks like a mess. Like last night, I had a big crease in a F250 bedside, and we took the flare off and fixed everything, and it had a little scratch, and it was like how the scratch is just kind of broken up to where it's not all the way through. It's just like a dash open. And Josh and I just squeegee this big mess of paint on there. And we came back, like, let it really get hard. That's what I've realized is like the chips aren't so bad because the chip will hold a lot of the paint. But like some of those lighter scratches, if you put that in there, you use their product, Seal Act product, and you wipe all the excess off. But if the scratch is not very deep, a lot of times you'll keep wiping the product out. So what I've learned is let the product sit. Like we let it sit like 15 minutes.
I was just going to ask you, like, what's the max time like you let this
on the chips? I go pretty quickly, like maybe like 3 minutes. I'll come back and just hit it really quick because there's not a whole lot of material extra on there from the chip. With a bigger scratch, you're putting a lot.
Right.
And then with this, I kind of work up to the scratch, so I get a lot of the extra off, and then go in last to get the batch off of the scratch. And it turned out so good. The customer came and was like, man, you matched the color perfect. And I was like, you got lucky. Like, you know what I mean? It's amazing. I ended up buying the 130 color. And
do they have another one on top of that, or?
So I don't think they do. I think that's the largest one. But they have lower packages. It doesn't sound
colors.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot of like the Ford black with the metallic they have, all the new BMW colors they had. I mean, I was really shocked. Like we just kept doing. I had a couple BMWs, and it was just like direct color match, direct color match, direct color match. I'm like, holy crap! I can't believe this. We're still learning some of the trips, and the ticks. I can't even talk tonight. Tips and tricks.
What would you say was the hardest thing to like? I know you're still learning, but like one of the toughest thing to like master. So like,
biggest thing is try not to get the paint out of the chip or the scratch. That's how much to keep wiping. Like sometimes you have to just back off and let it get harder and then come back. The other thing that we're actually learning to do, and it's been working out really well, is building that up. So a lot of times, like I had an S2000 that we actually had a color match for an old blue S2000, and building the paint up so it was kind of flush to the surface. So we did a coat,
Oh, I
let it
see.
sit. We heat gunned it for a little while, and then we came back and put another coat in there, and it built it up to the clear coat surface. So it took a little
Oh.
longer, but it turned out really good. Like,
Let me ask you this: does it dry faster than like the stuff that you buy at like the touch up that you buy
yes.
at AutoZone?
Yeah, I would say 3 minutes, it's pretty close. You know what I mean?
Really?
And then I come back in. If you let it really get hit, it's not as thick as the stuff you buy AutoZone. Like you get the AutoZone stuff and you spread it on the chip or the scratch, and it's really thick and nasty kind of looking. Even if you're using a little applicator, that whatever paint they're using, it's thinner, but it's not like thin. So it's not like you can see through the chip, but the material's thin. Like it covers really well.
Yeah.
It's like an old school solvent single stage paint. You know what I mean? Like it just really, really covers well.
So if you have the option to use like B&W touch up paint or your color chip, what would you use now?
Color chip.
Wow, really?
They'll tell me, they're like, oh, the touch ups in the center console. And I'm like, I'm not even using it. I'm not, man. I'm telling you, I
really?
am. I called him today and I said, Tony, he's like, how's it going? And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. You're a salesman and you were selling us at MT. You do a really good job of explaining.
He really
the product,
does. He really does.
but the product works. I said at MT this year, let me get up. I'm going to sell you more kits. And he's like, okay. It just, I believe in it. It's one of those things when I'm like, I believe in a product and it just works really well. This works really well. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And I sat with Tony. I said, I'm going to say this, and a lot of dent guys are cheap. And that's the world we're in right now. We all know that, right? We all are like, I don't know if it's worth the money. And
I'm one of those.
so what I did work with him was we did work a deal to where he'll still honor the MTE price for dent guys. He's not paying me to do this. I didn't get anything for free. I paid a ton of money for this. So I just wanted to kind of, because a lot of us in the business haven't really dove into this end of it, that I think is a value part, even just for paintless dent repair. And the reason I originally bought it was for PPF. But I'm 100%.
I remember my first or second year at MTE, I was like, oh man, should I get it? Should I get it? Should I get it? And sure enough, I ended up leaving without it, you know? And every year I go back and I'm like, oh, maybe I should get it. Maybe I should get it.
And but like, you sat in it this year.
We we really did. We sat on that class and yeah. Now, that's awesome. I'm glad it's working out.
It's been really good. I mean, I got no complaints. If you have any questions, call me. You know, like Dave Diplaf called from Top Gun PDR and Top Flight PDR and was like, you know, what's your thoughts? And I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. It's been fantastic. If you can afford it and you want to add, even just add a little bit of a service to your business, this is the way to go. You know, some of the cars I'm even getting $100 for touch up.
Really?
You know, because I'm like, okay, we can go around. We've got the color. We can kind of go around and just touch up a couple other spots in that area. Or hey, we'll go around the car. You know,
now would you take like the little bottle and just like, or do you put it in another container and then?
No, a lot of times we'll just take this bottle and just squeeze it on the panel, and it'll just drop one or two, and then squeegee it on there, or use my thumb. A lot of times I'll use my finger to kind of get it in that scratch or whatever. There is a whole little like brush and little cup system that comes in the full system that they give you little dabbers and you can use them. Josh likes using the dabbers. But bro, it's really good. I'm really happy I bought it.
Yeah, I'm glad it's working out.
Now, is it the perfect end all be all? No. Obviously, touch up is always going to be touch up. The original purpose we bought it was for PPF because I hated putting PPF over a car and it's got rock chips. You know, there's a little trick with the crayons. You can kind of, if it's a black or a white, you can put crayon in there and it'll hide the chip.
Mm.
But with this just makes life really, and it dries quick. You know what I mean? We can literally touch it up. By the time we're ready to put the PPF on there, it's dry and ready to go. The one problem we were having is a lot of the touch-ups we're getting, because we're on the East Coast, is waterborne. So we would spray it with the water, soap and water, and put it on there and move the film around, and the touch-up's gone. So, you know, if you guys want to get that MTE thing, he did send a code over today. I'll put it in the comments just so you guys can have it, so you'll get the MTE pricing.
Nice.
But he's super easy to deal with.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, I think it's because the product sells on its own.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. Shout out to everyone who is joining us today. Thank you, Matt, Andy, Jeff.
But like I said, if anybody's got questions,
Josh,
please reach out.
Nick.
It's
That's
fantastic.
Cool,
so
that's cool.
But you got anything new? Any new tools or anything?
No, honestly, no new tools. Just working away, man.
Does he only hammer when we have the show?
Can you hear it like really loud? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
No, he's on a call right now.
But let's get our guest on. Let's get this show rocking and rolling. I've been babbling for 20 minutes.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about this.
So, all right. And I don't know if you guys know this guy. He does a little bit on social media. He's been growing his business. We've talked a couple times on different occasions on different products he's bringing on and services. So I'm excited to get him on. What's up, Eric?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
There it is. What's up, Eric?
How are you, Manny?
I'm doing great, man. I feel like a groupie right now. I've been a fan of you like for a long time.
Good. Oh man, that's too funny. We haven't met in person though, huh?
No, we have not. I think you missed. Have you been to MT, right?
Yeah, it's been a few years though.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I plan on coming to the next one.
He said he's coming to the next two because the next one.
I've been saying that. Oh, that's right, huh? When is that?
It's supposed to be in September.
Yeah.
I think I can make that. It's close enough.
Yeah, right.
It's funny because Eric and I met at Mega Media in Colorado, right?
Yep.
So let's get into you a little bit. Where are you from? What's the name of your company?
So I'm in Vacaville, California. I'm like in between Sacramento and San Francisco. My company is Dent Express. Been doing it since 97 is when I first got training through dinking.
Wow.
But
you went to dinking.
Yeah, but
2 dinkingers.
It was more just like 3 days, and I'm like practicing at home, and I couldn't fix anything really. It was, I mean, they taught me to find the tip of the tool and all that, but if you're not doing it every day.
I think that they do a very good job on just showing you the basics.
Yeah. Right. And that was fine. Yeah.
And I think that's what they really stand for, to just getting you into the PDR, getting you to show how it works. Right. And then it's up to you whether you want to grow with it or not. A lot of people think that like, oh, the thinking's like there to show you like really like master skills. Like, no, they're there to train you the basics.
Right. Yeah.
After that, it's up to you. So that's
it was only 3 days, so you know what I mean. I could only like literally find the tip of my tool and tap down a few things.
Now, when you went, was it like to like try it out, or you were sure that this is what you wanted to do, or?
So I found it in the back of a magazine, but I had known about PDR because I worked for my grandfather's body shop, and he sent me to pick up parts, and I saw a PDR guy while I was doing it. And I think it was Corey Kleinfeld's dad, because
no, that's right.
It was a Dent Pro guy. Right. So that's how I first found out about it. And then it was probably like a year or two later that I found the dinking in the back of a magazine.
Wow.
And that's when I I was working at Pepsi, and I went down to training for a couple days, took a couple days off, and
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
What led you to PDR? Did you just wanted to stay in the industry? Like, did you just knew it
I
was a
just like
good gig?
cars. I've always liked cars, working on cars. You know, yeah, it was just really interesting to me watching them fix a dent. You know, without painting, because I've been around body shops too, so it was just fascinating to me.
Yeah. So you went to training, and what happened next?
So nothing. I stayed working at Pepsi, and then I ran into. I was working at Pepsi, and I saw a Dent Pro truck in a parking lot, and I was like, I'm gonna go talk to this guy. So I talked to him, and I asked him if he was looking for anyone in our area. It just so happened they were. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it was like perfect. So it was in my hometown too. So yeah, it was perfect. So I did that for like 2 years, and then the franchisee was having a few little issues, and they were selling the franchise back to corporate, and that's when I just left. I decided time to go on my own.
Okay.
So yeah, but it was good. It was a good experience with Dent Pro. They were
How long were you with them?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years.
And you were just mainly doing like wholesale, right?
Yeah, hardly any retail. We were doing a little bit of body shops here and there, but rarely a retail for me.
Yeah. And it was different times back then. You know what I mean? It was retail wasn't as prevalent. It was more wholesale and body shop stuff.
It'd be like 1 or 2 a week, maybe, if you were lucky, getting a retail, and it'd be a referral from like Service Drive or something like that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So how was it venturing on your own self? Like by
it was a little scary, but when I planned to leave, I told some of my dealerships that, hey, I'm leaving, but I can't solicit you because I don't want to get sued, right? So I was just out looking for business for a couple of weeks, and then one of my managers called me. He's like, "Dude, nobody's coming in here. Nobody's been in here since you left."
Wow.
Like, all right. So I went in there, and then I went in another one because they called, and like no one was servicing them. They just didn't have the capability. They didn't have the manpower, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was able to pick up like 3 accounts, and then it just slowly grew from there.
That's cool.
So yeah, I did get sued.
You did?
I did, but it ended up being nothing. We just you just kind of answer the letter, and then it just goes away.
Oh wow!
I wish mine went away.
I guess I got lucky.
Yeah, you got lucky.
What year was this, Eric?
That was 90. No. That was it had to have been like 2001 or 2002.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was with Dent Pro in 2001. So yeah, it was shortly after that.
So what kind of tools? What were you using back then?
Honestly, the Dinking set. It was a good set. The tools were really, really good. I don't know who was making them for them back then, but they were good.
Yeah, they had different seasons with different companies were making tools. Some were good, some were bad. What kind of light were you using? What kind of board or?
A regular reflection board, the gooseneck. Should I still use one of those here and there now? But then for the big board, we had this. It was like 2x4s, kind of on the ground, and then you put this big giant board that only stood straight.
Yes.
Like to make it turn to the side, you'd have to put like a screwdriver underneath it to get the right angle.
No way.
Yeah, it's funny. But then you start making my own boards. Just go to Tap Plastics and spray paint my own lines.
At least you're a fog guy. At least you can really fix
No. I started with fog, but then I switched over to lines after watching.
No way.
I swear. I started watching Mike Toledo on doording.com. I'm like, man, I like those lines. I tried them out, and I love them.
I can't do it.
Really?
I cannot do that. I can't.
So I tried going back to fog, and I can start, and I can do a lot of dents in fog, but I just can't finish very well without lines. It's just difficult for me.
Wow. So did you just like train yourself, or did you go to training with Mike too for lines, or?
Oh no, I just taught myself with the lines. Yeah.
Because by then you knew what you were doing. You just had to train
just
yourself
a
to use lines.
different way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I
Yeah.
can't train myself with the fog to finish certain dents.
So
Man,
with you getting dealers back and growing, so you created your own company back then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
how did you come
2002-ish
up with
for one.
Dent Express?
My uncle actually helped me because he helped me get the business started.
Mm,
So he kind of backed me up financially a little bit, and
that's
then
cool.
so he
How
had
old
a
were you
friend.
then?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm terrible at math. Let me think. Dang. Let's see. How long ago was that?
So
I don't know. I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So that was like 23 years ago, 22 years ago.
Oh yeah. So I was like 23, 24.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Were
Yeah.
you working by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Back then I was by myself.
Okay.
I was by myself for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
So your uncle helped you pick out like Dent Express? Like what was?
Yeah, because he had a repossession company that it was called Midnight Express. So he was like,
Nice.
"Let's do Dent Express."
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and then
That's
he had
cool.
his buddy was a like a sign painter, so he came up with the logo, and so my uncle had he helped me out a lot with that.
That's
That's cool.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
cool.
So
yeah,
what happened on your journey after then? You went you went back on your own, picked up a few accounts.
yeah. Just kept hustling and going after more and more. Um, that's
Was
about
it
it, man.
was it mainly like wholesale, or were you trying to get retail or body shop? What was your
Uh,
main business back then?
For that, I was really focused on wholesale a lot, and
Mm,
then once I started, just like everything, you're talking to other people on door ding and all this stuff. And once I started getting into one body shop, I'd go after another, and starting to
mm,
see, hey, some of this stuff is actually turning into insurance work or customer
Hmm.
pay work, retail work,
mm.
Hmm.
and so just always transitioning to the better repairs, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
How far do you travel? I mean, because I feel like the more you do it, like wholesale body shops, you end up like opening yourself up, like going further and further. Did that happen to you, or did you kind of just stayed in the same zone?
I kind of stayed in the same zones, maybe travel 20 to 30 miles either way at the
Oh, that's
most.
cool.
Yeah, not too I don't want to go too far because once you start it's too much road time.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but now I have the shop, so I'm working out of the shop most of the time. Um,
Do
Still
you
got to do some mobiles here and
do you
there.
do you still do wholesale or?
Occasionally, just a little bit. Most of it's like sold cars with damage, that kind of thing.
Oh, I
Not
see.
doing a whole lot of lot walking. I
Now,
Mm.
did you end up hiring employees like on your journey there?
I did. I hired a guy about 8 years ago. I think it was about 8 years ago. He worked at I met him through CarMax,
Mm.
and then he was a good guy, and he started working at a body shop, and I kind of mentioned to him that I was looking for somebody, and he was interested, and he's been with me since. He's solid.
That's
Eight
cool.
years, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
He's I'm lucky to have him.
Yeah.
so. Before that, you basically for 10, 12 years, you just did wholesale.
Yeah, wholesale and retail. I built had a website built, and was trying to focus on just everything wherever. I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
So
answer.
a little bit of everything. Because when
yeah.
one gets slow, the other one picks up.
Hmm.
Mm, that's cool.
So
So, man, I mean, it sounds like you've been in the industry for a long time, Eric, and it sounds like you've seen all these transitions and
hmm
in the industry with our tools, the LED.
oh yeah.
How were these seasons? Um, how were they to you? Like when the lights came up.
So it took me a while to buy an LED light, to be honest.
Hmm.
Really?
I was so stuck with my line board.
Oh,
Um,
that's right.
but but now in the shop, I use I got a big Illumident light that I start, you know what I mean, that I use in the shop, and then I switch it to my smaller line board. that my ultra line board on a small stand.
Okay.
Now, were your times still the times where like, you know, you kind of like hide yourself and like not let other people watch or
I
how?
never did that. I heard about that, but I never did that.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was mainly like Dent Wizard ways. That's how Dent Wizard was back in the early 2000s and 90s that, you know, hid.
Yeah.
So
I had heard about that because I'd heard about people using the master tool, and I, it was like a myth to me because we didn't have any Dent Wizard guys around us, so I didn't even know what they looked like.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I just had my.
did you go into MTE? What year did you like started, you know, going to MTE and like, you know, as the industry started to open up more and more?
Oh man, I don't think I went to my first MTE. I'm so bad with time.
You're good.
It was probably 10 years ago. The first MTE was
Okay.
the one I went to. I think I've been to 2 or 3 in Orlando, and then the Vegas one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you end up at the Mega Media event?
I just have always followed Mike and John at the time, and I just I wanted better marketing so I could focus more on retail and,
Mm.
you know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
It was a good event.
That was a really good event.
That was a good Mega
Yeah.
Media. A lot
Yeah,
of
I had a good time.
different avenues of people, you know what I mean, of
Right.
input, and everybody kind of is in that room for the same reason. So
Right.
you would take breaks and you would get to know people, and then you'd be like, hey, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
How do you do
Yeah.
that? What app are you using? You know, so it's a really good kind of a spin-off mastermind kind of.
It really was. A lot of good people there. That was a good one. I might go to this new next one that Mike's having too.
Mm.
Just because I need to get more organized.
Don't we all? So I mean, so what year? What year was this for the Mega Media event?
Oh,
Do you remember? Do you
let me
remember,
look. Hold
Ryan?
on. I'll tell you in 1 minute. I got to look at photos. That's how
It was like
terrible it is.
5 years ago, right?
Yeah, at least. I mean, it was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Let's see.
I don't know.
So
I got to look too.
before
Go
the
ahead.
Mega Media event, like you were still doing like just wholesale and retail, or were you in the shop already by then? Or
I don't think I had my shop because I had another shop before this current one.
oh really?
Yeah, and
So
I've been in my.
how did you get into that one?
So a friend of mine owned the building, and it was right across from the dealers that I service.
Oh,
That's a good
Yeah,
spot.
it was a good spot, and then the problem was the unit was pretty small. It was like 1,100 square feet, and
yeah.
then they built this giant hotel directly in front of it, so I had no visibility to the street, and the parking was just terrible. So I found another spot that, like a year later, that was like the best location I think in the city. So I had to snatch it. I had to snatch it up.
November 2019.
Is that when it was? Okay, so 4 years ago,
Yeah,
or
October or
almost 4
November,
years, almost. Dang.
right before the shit hit the fan.
So I did, yeah. So I did have my my older shop at that time.
So like you probably got into your first shop like 2017 around there.
Yeah, 17 or 18.
So what got you into the shop back then? Because I think like that was probably around the time that you know I started it too, like 2015. But to me, Paintless Dent Repair was just all a mobile thing.
I was just tired of running around all the time.
Really?
And I'd get calls like, you're at a customer's house, you're fixing a car, and then you get a phone call and it's like, hey, I need an estimate. Can I come to where you're at right now? You know what I mean? And then you got
Yeah.
2 other retails lined up, and it's hard. So I was like, I think it's time for a shop. And people, they're willing to come to me. They're telling me.
Yeah.
So why not just do it?
Now, did you see a difference in your business? Did you see a decline? Did you see an incline when you got into that shop? Just because you weren't going to there anymore. Do you know what I mean?
At the first shop, I saw a decline, but I think it's because of the location too. But at the new shop, I get people just driving up, man.
Yeah.
It, it's on the main street. I have a big banner, and people
Yeah.
just see it and they go, "I've been driving by for a month now. I've been meaning to stop."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think location's really, really important.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember back in the day, we had a conversation and it was about location, or sometimes it's not location. And I had a shop that didn't have the best location,
Right.
but now the new shop's on the main road. And I do think location helps, kind of, Manny, you're kind of on the back side of that building, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if that was flipped around and you were really the walk-in business it's just another, just like you said earlier, Eric, it's just another avenue of business coming through the door. So like you have your standard retail customers, you have some wholesale stuff that comes to you. You have your stuff that comes off your website and the internet, and then you have another avenue of cars coming in. It's just another band of customer.
And was it a quick transition, Eric, when you went from your old shop to your new shop, or did you just let your old shop go, went back to mobile, and they were like, I need to shop again"? Or
No, I just immediately moved from the one shop to the other. So when I first moved into the other shop, I shared it with a detailer,
okay.
and so I was still doing mobile though. I just couldn't let go of. It was just hard for me to sit at the shop and not do nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got people calling me, offering me money.
Yeah.
So thankfully he was there, and when people would come by, he'd tell them, "Oh, he's out mobile." And the pandemic is really when I decided I need to be at the shop all the time.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, I was worried about the dealers, and I was afraid they weren't going to be doing any business. So I'm like, okay, well, it's time to make a change.
Mm.
And quit walking
Pivot.
lots. Yeah.
So you could basically say like that pandemic, it's it shifted your way of doing business from walking lots, doing mobile, and having the shop to just completely just shop.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It, and I still do some dealer. Like I go there, right? I was telling you.
Yeah.
I just don't like to walk in the lots anymore.
Yeah.
Man. It's a lot. I'm getting old, I guess.
Well, I think
But
you've had
still-
a taste. You've had a taste of. I wouldn't say the easy street, but it's much easier than.
Easier. It's not as hard. The sun's not beating on you. The wind, the rain.
Yeah.
But those are all like, I'm still friends with all those people. I like to still go work for them and say hi to them and all that stuff.
Yeah, because they end up being almost part of your life. They see you grow. You know about their family, they know about yours, and it's just like you built a relationship.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's why I still like going to the body shops here and there too.
Oh,
they're all my friends, and
yeah,
it's fun.
You love when you go to the body shop and they're like, "Ooh, look at you, you're big time now." And I'm like, "Man, I'm still over here cleaning the bathroom. What are you talking about?"
Do it all, janitor, everything.
That's
right?
it, man. That's it. It was funny. I'll tell you a quick funny story. Last week, I was in the bathroom early in the morning. It was before 8, and I'm cleaning the bathroom, and I'm like getting ready to clean the toilet. I got rubber gloves on. I don't have a wife that comes to the shop and cleans for me like Manny. So I'm down there cleaning the toilet, and the guy walks in. He's like, "I'm looking for Ryan. I'm looking for the owner." And I was like, I look over like this because it's before 8, and I'm like, "That's me." And he's like, he looks at me, goes, "True entrepreneurship."
That's the truth, right? That's the truth.
So, for me, it was funny. I was like, "Man, that would have been a great picture."
Oh yeah, that's too funny.
But from your transition from the small shop to the larger shop, obviously you were scared. It's a step.
Yeah, of course.
And you were doing it in a pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely it's still scary.
Hey, you made it a couple years. You're fine.
Yeah, no, we're fine. But it was scary, man. It's you just, and especially the pandemic, you just don't know what was going to happen. And it was quiet for a couple of months, but then all of a sudden people were like, "We're home. Let's fix our car. Let's do this. Let's do that." And then it was a crazy year, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It was that doom and gloom. I remember having shows. Everybody's like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Are we all going to be in business? I remember Manny and I were like, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And then we're like, a couple months later, we were like, we're making more money than we did a couple years ago. What the hell's going on?
I know.
So how are things going at your new shop?
It's good. Yeah. No, we're rocking, man. We opened my tech that works for me, him and I opened a separate company doing PPF ceramic, and brought his brother on. Yep, I'm answering Atlantic's question right now. And his brother started doing tint as well. So that's in the works. But so I'm doing a lot more PDR now because Brian, my guy, is doing a lot of PPF installs.
Oh yeah.
So we're probably going to need another PDR guy and possibly another PPF installer.
Wow.
Good luck.
I know for Ryan, that has just grew his business from,
Yeah.
big time. Do you feel like the same way, like this PPF services? And
I think it's going to take off. Yeah, we haven't been doing it very long, but last month we had a good month, and this month we're probably going to hopefully double what we did last month.
wow.
So it's getting better.
And I think it's time. I mean, I really feel that a lot of these services, the ceramics and the PPF, are all intertwined with paintless dent repair.
Yeah, I think so too.
I really do.
But what opened you up to think about like adding PPF into your business?
Man, because people would always ask me for it.
Really?
They constantly ask me, "Hey, who does this? Who does that?" And all the local guys were booked like weeks out. So it's like, well, why not? Why not? Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about in your area, Ryan, but is everybody booked out as well? Like tint, ceramic, all that, right?
There's a lot of tint guys by me. I mean, they're like, you could show up the same day and it's $99 window tints. And I'm like 600 to 1200. I'm like, I'm the most expensive guy in town in my area,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, PPF is still everywhere is booked,
Yeah, it's crazy.
And same example, when you have a business, and I'm the type of person with tools, if I have to borrow that tool 3 times, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
That's just my rule of thumb. If I use that thing 3 times, I'm buying it. Same thing with business. If somebody's asking, hey, who do you use for PPF, or you're working on a PPF car and you're pulling the PPF off of it to fix the dent, and you're sending them to a guy, why wouldn't you just do it?
Might as well do it. Yep. I did that.
Obviously, it's all situational based. It's all your location, your shop. Is it air conditioned? Is it a clean environment? There's a lot that goes into PPF that I kind of learned on the fly, and stuff you just don't know when you're getting ready to get into that space.
Right.
That is a key thing. But we all figure it out.
So yeah, that speaking of that, that's the next thing. I think we have to like build a clean room and air condition it, because the hot weather's coming and it's not going to be PPF friendly.
Yeah. Temperature is a big thing.
Yeah. What's the temperature supposed to be, like under 80, 65 to 80 or something like that?
Yeah. 70's been like our sweet spot.
Okay.
And we'll crank it, like we'll cut if we're doing a large install. So like if we're doing a big bulk piece of film on the hood, we'll cut the AC, like stop the fans so the air is not moving around, because it's a big piece of film. Lay it on the car and then crank the AC, and it's really been helping, because what happens when the temperature gets hot and gets humider, the film just tacks. I mean, it just sticks quick, and it's a lot harder to work with.
Yeah.
So
I see.
I've noticed that. I haven't done a ton, but I feel like I need to learn some.
Yeah, 100%. It's easier to sell.
Yeah, and then plus when hey, I need help, doing this hood or whatever.
Yeah,
you can at least offer some help.
Yeah, and you need it. I mean, you're one guy. I mean, some of these hoods and some of these products, like we had an older E 36 BMW, and it needed 2 people to do the hood. You know, you just they can't do it because it's got where the big grills are in the hood, the big oval grills. You have to pull that film down and stretch it down in there. And there was just no way for him to do it by himself. So he's like, Ryan, I need help, you know? So it's learning it as a business owner is key. For one, it helps with selling. For two, you can help your tech while he's working. Hop you off a dent, throw some gloves on, help him for a minute, get it started and go.
Right.
So that's a key part.
Yeah. I need to go at least for a couple of days of training.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I'm a big fan of you, Eric, is all these big dents that you take up on them.
They're fun, right?
Oh yeah.
I had that exact same dent as you. Remember that truck, that bedside?
Yeah. There's been a few dents where it's just like, oh, you know, I just did one like this, or I'm about to do one of those in a few weeks or something like that.
He's a hell of a tech.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, you've done wholesale from little dents, and you do this big dents.
You learn on the wholesale. I did a lot of big dents that I didn't do so well on wholesale to learn how to do them. You know, good for retail, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just push yourself. Watching guys like Bryce and Geddes and all the guys, you know, the big dent techs, Shane Jacks, all those guys. It just pushes you to work, you know, get better, work harder.
Now, do you think like social media has pushed you to take on some of this bigger dent, or is it just like by yourself that you're like, oh, I wonder if I could do it? Is it like because they pay more? Like, what drove you into like taking on some of this bigger dents?
Just seeing other people do it and going, well, okay, I see how that's fixable, you know, and give it a shot. It just give people realistic expectations. Hey, I think I can fix it. And then just figure it out as you go, I guess.
Yeah, because, you know, for a lot of guys, it's just like, well, you know, like I have one guy that comes around and he's just like, Manny, he's just like, you know, I know that like I could take on some of these big jobs, but it's just like, I don't need that headache. Like I could
sometimes.
And he actually has a few accounts. He's like, I could just go to, you know, walk the lot, take 10, 15 cars, and I'm good for my day, and I don't have to worry about. And then he'll stand there like, look at what you got going on. You got all this. You got the bumper up. You got all this stuff apart. Look at this dent, like. And I'm just like, well, it's fun, but you know, like everyone has a different drive to what they want to do, you know.
And time. It's a lot of time too. You know, you have to. When you're a very busy shop, it's hard to schedule those dents that are going to take you 8 to 10 hours or 2 days. Right. So it's all about everybody's business is kind of in a different era. You know what I mean? Right. Just different time that they can spend. Some guys like you, Manny, have a little more time to do some of these larger repairs. Like some of the repairs you do, it's just not cost effective for me. You know what I mean? Right. There's just no way that I could do what you're doing with the amount of people coming through the door.
That's the thing with me too. Sometimes I go, oh, okay, next week kind of quiet. I can do that big smash on Tuesday, right? Tuesday comes, I'm fine. I'm booked for that. And then all of a sudden, like a body shop calls, hey, I got an emergency. And I'm like, oh crap, you know, and then you got to run across town, come back, and then you got to call them, hey, I need your car a little longer.
Yeah.
They're fun to do, but then at the same time they can be stressful.
Yeah.
Like Ryan's saying, when you got people in and out, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? Like if you look at your business as of today and you had to pick one thing that you really enjoy, you know, if you're like, okay, this part of my business, not so much just pushing dents or doing the PPF or growing the business. If you have to pick one dynamic of your business that you really enjoy, what is it?
Honestly, man, I like talking to people.
Yeah.
I like dealing with customers.
That's it.
That's my favorite part of it. I mean, I enjoy fixing the dents too. The 2 and 3 inch dents. you know, those kind of things.
You get those?
But that's the ones
You
I
get
like
2
to
or
pick
3 dents?
here and there.
Oh my gosh.
So if I can talk to a bunch of people, fix a couple of those, I'm happy.
Yeah. Man, you
Now,
let me know.
some of these big jobs, do you like set them up for like 1 day, 2 days, like a week? How much time do you normally give yourself?
Typically a day. I try to do it in a day.
Like from
Yeah. Try to schedule it. Like, hey, drop it off. Actually, I got one my buddy dropped off. He dropped it off last night. I worked on it for a couple hours today. I'll work on it for a couple hours tomorrow, and I'll be done.
Yeah.
So that way I can fit it in other jobs in
yeah.
between. So I like to have the car for a couple days, but I try not to spend more than like 7 or 8 hours on a job.
Yeah. Or
That's a
if you
long
do
time.
spend that long time, I always like to come back the next morning
Yeah.
with fresh eyes.
Fresh
you know,
eyes. Yeah. Yeah. And
And you're like,
sometimes you're like, oh,
What the
okay.
hell was I doing? Or, why
Right.
did I do that way? Or,
Right.
it's I
Well,
don't know
you get
how God.
no, I was gonna say you get all kinds of cars in there, Eric.
Yeah, we get a little bit of everything. A lot of classics, man.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I was just looking at your Instagram right now. Yeah, you definitely got a lot of classics.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun to work on.
They
I
are. I like them. I don't mind them that much.
I
I
also
don't.
noticed that you have that Cam Auto tower. How's that
Oh
been
yeah,
working out for you?
it's been good. I like it a lot. Although I do know I need that foot brace because that prevents it from going forward.
Yeah.
Because I had a couple. I don't remember what it was I was working on, but I was cranking on that thing and the suction cup broke loose. Yeah,
Yeah,
and kind of leaned
it'll come.
forward. Yeah, but
Oh
the
wow.
dent was up a little bit higher, so it's
So like
understandable. Yeah,
from the top, yeah, got
yeah.
it.
So I got to buy that little foot.
It's a
So
kickstand or something.
what is that foot for, or what is
So
that?
it stops it from
Yeah,
coming
it's like a
forward.
brake almost. Yeah,
Like it's something on the back that holds it,
No, it's on the
or
it's on
front.
the front on the bottom, so it can't lean forward.
mm.
It's almost like just a little brace.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've been using it. It works. I like it. I like it. I did a buckle on I think it's on my Instagram. It was on a aluminum bedside, and I just pulled tension on it just so I could knock the buckle down. It came out smooth, man. There was no pits in the buckle or nothing. It was a pretty nasty little buckle too.
We've been pushing through these things forever, right? Like
Yeah,
everybody just came out with lateral tension tools, and
yeah.
we've been manning through this. Now you're doing the lateral tension or the pull towers, and we're all like, why have we been working so hard?
I know, right?
How is the lateral tension working for you?
So I just bought the Metal Medic one. I did have the Kiko one, and I used it on a nasty. I don't think I ever posted it, but it was a nasty body line dent on a Volkswagen Atlas, or is it an Atlas or a Tiguan? And you know how those
Mm.
body lines are. They're
So hard.
terrible, terrible. But I put the lateral tension on that, and I'm telling you, that dent came up smooth and fast.
Yeah.
It was a big help. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that fine tuning that I've learned that like you just need to get the feel before you start diving the
Right.
ends. Like you just get it just enough. You're
Just
like, okay,
enough.
this is enough. So
Yeah.
it's been a good tool.
Because you can
So
over tighten it for sure. You can do, and then you're working extra hard.
Mhm.
so I hope Matt doesn't get on me on this bet. I'll be honest, I have not been successful with that thing.
No,
with
Maybe
with the Porta Power one or the actual
so actually both. Um, again, this is my experience. I love you, Matt. But so the Porter Potter one, the foot, they bent back on the ends, and I've had them put creases on my dent on the panel that I'm working on, and that's on that one. And then the Metal Medic one, I like to crank it, and so I think I ruined something on the inside.
You were using power or a ratchet or something,
Did
right? Where it
you
says,
use your
"Oh,
drill
use
or
hand
something?
tighten."
Hand tighten only.
So I know, and Matt, DM me on this. Is like, Manny, it says on there just hand tight only, and so
And guys don't read.
I think I did too much on it. I did something on to it, and now every time I try to use it, it kicks back.
You stripped it out.
I think
Oh, boy.
He
I
does
stripped it
have
out.
the anti-dive tabs now, though, so I haven't tried those yet. That are supposed to
Yeah.
stop it from diving.
Mm.
I saw those. I think I might have to get those. Seems like every week though, you place an order and then they come out with something new.
Yeah.
It's like
Um,
the couple days after I bought those the Metal Medic ones, the Keith's attachment, the Sidewinder came out, and I'm
Yep.
like, oh man, I could have included that in the order.
Yep. Now, what's your plan? What's your future lookout for your business? Like, what's your okay? This is our next step.
I'd like to buy a building eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm running out of space where I'm at now, and we have, I think we have about 3,000 square feet.
It looked like
So
plenty when you got in there, right? You're like, man, this will be great. It's
yeah,
bigger than where I was. And then you're like, what the hell was I thinking?
wow, 3,000!
yeah.
You're running out of space, Eric.
Well, because the PPF and
Yeah.
the ceramic and all that, that's like one of the shops is 1,700 because we have two different units in this complex. So one of them's 1,700 and then the other one's 1,400.
I see.
So it just fills up quick. I mean, PPF, you got a car in there for say a full front's what, 3 days, 3 days. And then you got a ceramic that's going to be in there for a day or two. And then if you got a big dent, and then you know what I mean, it's just you fill up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have my own car in there, so that's another. Ryan, you probably have the same thing.
I got the same problems.
So I think I might have to bring my car home.
Yeah.
So you would definitely you look, you would love to just get into something bigger and possibly even own wherever you get into.
Yeah, eventually. I think we'll be good here for a little while. And then people are always, coming in and out of the complex. So maybe another unit in the complex will become available here. We'll see. I don't know.
Now
I just
you
want
did
to keep
sign
growing the
with
PPF business.
you
What's
did
that?
go into you did sign with Expel, correct?
Yeah. So we're an Expel
Nice.
company. Yeah,
Nice.
100% in.
I
Yeah,
remember
you're
me
all
and you
Expel
talked on
too,
the
right?
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I've got no
Yeah.
complaints.
No, we actually, someone told me they didn't like their ceramic, and seems to work
Yeah.
great.
I mean, we went from System X to Expel, and I really like the Expel better than the System X.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know
just
about the System X, but the Expel's good.
they were limited. Expel was limited to just one coating. Now they have 3, so
Yep.
that'll help a little bit with budgets for some people. Some
Yeah.
people don't want to spend the $1,000 or the 1,500 or whatever. So this will help a little bit, but I also don't try to carry a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
So,
Have you tried their new film?
the Fusion or the
Is,
new Ultimate Plus?
Ultimate? No, is it the Fusion? Is the new one, right?
Fusion has the ceramic in it.
Yeah, that's the one. Have you tried that?
We did a little bit. I don't carry it. And I have this talk with my rep all the time. He's like, oh, it's an upsell. I'm like, well, what are we upselling? We're going to put Fusion PPF on the front of their car that's going to beat harder than the rest of the car. Well, you can sell them ceramic for the rest. And I'm like, I'm going to make more if I'm ceramicing the whole car.
The whole car, yeah.
So it's kind of like some guys want it. And I'm just like, yeah, we don't carry it. And I may lose jobs, but it gets to a point when you only want to carry so much inventory.
Right.
If I can put Fusion ceramic on top of the Ultimate Plus PPF,
Right.
I don't see the cost savings. The film costs more. I could be wrong. It could be missing a shit ton of money, but that's just how, since we've been with them, how I've, felt.
Yeah, it's what's worked for you.
A lot of people want the 10 mil film because the Ultimate Plus is 8 mils, and a lot of people call about the 10 mil, and 10 mil is really hard to work with. It reminds me of the old 3M film.
Oh, right.
So
I was going to say it's probably harder to install.
Yeah.
Now, Eric, now that you've you've added on PPF and ceramic, are you is this something that you also had to go back into marketing, like push more marketing so you could get all these extra clients in, or is it being like an easy transition to just upsell your clients, or do you already have clients coming into?
Yeah, we haven't done a ton of marketing. I mean, we built a website, did the Google My Business, just hit up every body shop that we service, told them about it. And then honestly, customers go, "Oh, you do this too?" Yeah, we do. And then, the busy street, we put A-frame signs out. Our roll-up door, when you roll up the door, we have banners up. So, I mean, people see it, and it's just slowly coming in the door.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but the body shops call quite a bit for, door cups, door edges, all that
Partial
stuff.
fenders. And you make
Partial
really
fenders.
good money on the body shop stuff because it's going through the insurance company.
Yeah. You could do a travel fee, because you are using, it's your time and gas, but so yeah, actually we have a partial front for a body shop next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The body shops are tickets that a lot of these guys that already have done it never did it. And for us, it's easy because we already have the relationships.
Yep.
And we know how to pitch it to them because we understand it.
But how do you deal with the fact that that it's been repainted, that it's only been a week or a few days since they painted it, and you're going to put PPF on top of it?
So some of my shops want it done right away, and others we tell them all it's recommended like 60 to 90 days, but some of them want it done right away.
We go
just
30.
tell them, do you 30?
Yeah.
What is the paint companies? So some of my body shops have even said the paint companies recommend 90 days. And so they're waiting. I just let it be up to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're pre-billing it, so you're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. But I mean, are you warranting this, or like, how do you deal
the film? Yeah.
It's a fine line. You know what I mean?
But if it pulls paint, I mean, I haven't had it happen. It's on them though. It's an adhesion problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't had an issue though.
Same here. We've been lucky.
Even repaints, like glue pulling repaints, I'm pulling fresh paint, and I'm not pulling paint off. I'm not having a problem with repainted vehicles, really.
Yeah, I've been lucky a few times too. I think it's how much hardener they're putting on there.
Yeah, and it's also not just ripping the dent as hard as you can either, right?
Yeah,
a little more gentle.
Yeah, just be cautious and
no slide hammer for sure, lifter
or slide, just light, just be careful.
Pull it.
What glue are you using?
So I use Sagan a lot. I really like that Sagan glue. It dries so fast. It sets up so quick. And then the green. And
see, we can be friends there.
The green, and then I got tab weld too. I like tab weld, and then I use the Solar Blitz a lot for the big
collision
stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's gnarly.
Yeah, it's no joke.
I got to reload on that stuff. For some reason, I ran out and I haven't bought some in a long time.
Yeah, it's good. I don't use bubble gum.
Thank God. He likes to fix dents. That's why, Manny. He likes to fix dents.
I was just going to say, Eric, like, wow, you're just missing out on so much.
I don't have a glue pot either.
Oh, my gosh.
No, the green, though, I really like the green a lot. That was one I've used for the longest.
Now, as far as rods, what are your go-to rods?
Everything, man. I have a little bit of everything. I like ultra stuff a lot.
See, that's a Cali thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Ultra a lot. And then everybody's, man. A1, Stanliner, Finesse. I got a couple Finesse rods that I just love. I'm not particular. I like it all.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Dent Dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my dent dial's been kind of parked lately. I've been using more of the Jaybird than the dent dial.
What's the Jaybird?
Jaybird's an Excalibur tool. It's kind of a big hoop.
It's
you
like
put
a
a
big.
screw on tip in it, and like for
Really?
fenders or bedsides, man, the older I get,
Really?
the less power you have to use. It's amazing.
So it looks like I might have to look that up. You already got me pulled up the Dr. Color Chip email. I'm telling you.
Jesus.
I talked to him about a month ago, and I'm like, do I really need to?
Yeah, it's really, I swear, man.
Okay. And you bought the big kit, the 130
Yeah.
color, you said?
Yeah, I'm glad I did. It came with everything, like everything you need.
So does it say like you got a Ford come in, right? Ford gray, the gray truck. Does it say it's a Ford gray, or you just kind of?
They're kind of in color lines. So like this is blues, reds, and then like a really dark red. So you just kind of, each bin has the color code, so everything's kind of color coded.
Oh, gotcha.
And you go in and it'll be like all the grays, and it literally is already built to like darker and then more metallic. And you just, what I do is I take them and I take the lid off, and I'm wearing a rubber glove, and I'll stick my finger in it. And I'll put it on the panel to see if it's the right color or not. And then I'll come back to keep testing colors. But I mean, they're small bottles. They're not real big, but this will last, man. I don't know. The cool thing was, even today, I have a weird BMW color coming in, and one of the colors is close. It's actually like this color blue, but it's a little off. So I got the color of the paint code off the car when he was there, and I called over there and placed an order just for that paint code. So when I get it in, I'll have that paint code, and I'm going to note what the paint code is on the bottom of the bottle. So I'll know. But it's like a weird, the customer's very particular. So I was like, I'll buy the paint.
Right.
So that's a cool thing. You do get a discounted rate when you buy a system and you buy this. I think it's like $22 or $25 if you have to order a specific color.
Okay.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's been great. It's been really.
It's that little that powder blue BMW, huh? That it's a really light.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a weird bluish color, and he had PPF, and it tore the PPF and damaged the film. And he was like, "Well, I'll go get it." And I'm like, "Well, we have Dr. Color Chip," and he's like, "That's perfect."
Okay.
So I was like, "I'll order it." And they're out of Florida, so for me, it comes pretty quick. It'll probably be an extra day or so for you guys. So as long as you schedule it out, most of those jobs you're scheduling out anyway.
For sure.
But most of the stuff, man, has been really good. I mean, we did an older S2000. It was like that, like silvery blue color, and we had a direct match. And I'm like, how the hell is this possible?
Now, are you doing this a couple times a week? Are you getting a couple jobs a week?
We're using this almost every day.
Oh, wow.
I don't really sit there and say, "Oh, we'll touch it up," because touch up always looks like touch up, and people do get disappointed sometimes because they think it's going to be gone. So you make sure you're very upfront and transparent in the beginning.
Yeah.
On the PPF side, it's a huge like stress relief for me. You know, a lot of shops will just put the PPF on and not care that it's already chipped.
Right.
But it's not the style business that we have. You know, I want to do over the top of my competition. So we're in there just touching them up. They dry quick. It's easy to go. But even on the dent side, it's been a really good addition. You know, just to be able to go in and just touch up those couple spots that are around your dent or on that panel or the edge of the door. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
those the edges always touch up nice too.
It's been a really good addition. I'm if I look at all the things just to this point of the year, this has been a great investment.
Okay, I think I might.
It's going to take a while for me to get all of our money out of it, but for me, we were running so many cars up to the body shop to get touch up for the paint protection film. This eliminated that stress. And the whole kit comes with like a roll around toolbox. So there's 3 of these toolboxes together and then a big bottom. And I just grab it and we just roll it to the car and pop them open and pick the colors. And, you know, it literally came with like little mixing cups and dabbers and little mini paint brushes and all the microfibers, all the chemicals you need.
That's cool.
It's all body shop safe, so it doesn't seem like it's been an issue. So it's been great.
So it's probably the same kit that you see the guys on the lots using.
I think so.
Yeah.
I see the Dent Wizard is one of their affiliates that they have on one of their paperwork. So this is probably the same kit that Dent Wizard's using at the auction or the dealers for their touch-up kits. So it's probably very similar. But it I can't say anything, you know. And there's some people that have reached out and said, hey, I see your Dr. Color chip. You know, you're using Dr. Color chip now. I need to schedule an appointment. So it has gotten us some jobs. And then we get in and they're like, I'm like, oh, you got a dent in your fender or you got a ding in here. You want to do that while you're here? And they're like, yeah, perfect. So it's just another thing of, oh, you do that too. You do that too. You do that too. I love that when they walk in there like, oh, what else?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I know that you're right. That's right. I just had one the other day. They walked in, they're paying their you know, paying for the dent. They're like, oh, you do PPF? I'm like, yeah, we do.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I'm like, oh, that's good to know. Actually, I fixed a dent for a lady on a Tesla, and she booked a job the same. She found out we were doing PPF, and actually we're doing her car on Tuesday of next week. We sold her a PPF.
Nice. You know, I'm going to tell you a tip. If you have any body shops that are Tesla certified body shops, stock up on the emblems. They're cheap. They're like $15. You can buy them right from the body shop, and they come in a little box with the little piece that'll line up with the edge of the hood, so you don't have to clean and retape those Tesla emblems because that's a pain in the ass.
That's a good idea. Actually,
and then you just charge the customer. So you just go in, hey, I'm you know, do you want your emblem back on? Some people don't. If you do, it's an extra $25 or whatever. So it for me, it's just another piece of, I'm about making my life easier.
That's a great idea. That's a great tip.
But you have to buy them through the body shop just because you can't get them from the dealer.
Right. And it's an OEM, not the aftermarket one.
Exactly. Yeah, we stocked up on hood and trunk because the trunk's curved.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's got a curved emblem. Yep.
But that's my little tech tip, and
that's a great one. Actually, I'm definitely gonna be doing that.
So
heck yeah.
How can people find you?
Instagram, Dent Express PDR, Facebook, Dent Express PDR. That's about it. I think those are the only socials I'm on.
Nice.
Not on them enough, but you know,
you're busy.
Reach out. Yeah, you got to make time though.
Yeah,
you do, Ryan. Manny does.
So, I can't do it, Manny.
Manny's got stories. I love watching Manny's stories.
I try.
It's funny. It's funny because Manny be like, "Did you see my story last week with that?" I'm like, "No, dude. Like, I just don't. We just don't have time. You know what I mean?
It's tough. Yeah.
I'm excited to watch you grow. You know, we talked before you brought Expel on, and me and you kind of talked about everything for a little while, and it's fun to watch guys.
Yeah.
Doing adding, you know, trying to grow the business. So
right.
either with employees or services or whatever. So it's fun to watch you grow, and in a year you're gonna be like, man, this was so great.
Right.
What an addition. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a little stressful sometimes, but it's still fun.
It's a lot stressful times. You know, I remember, I don't know if you have a minimum for Expel, but like when I signed on with Expel, my rep was like, you have a minimum of $2,400 a month you have to buy. And I was like, man, that's really scary. You know, I don't know if my wife's like, you should be fine. I'm like, I don't know, $2,400 a month.
Two rolls.
But then now we're at like 15,000 a month or 20,000 a month. Wow. And they're like, my wife was like, how about that 2,400? And I was like, yeah. No shit. I wish we were at the 2,400.
I think
But-
ours is like 3,500. I want to say my rep told me it was like 3,500 or something.
And it's not hard. It's really
No.
not.
No,
And you
we
just
haven't
need
hit.
in the beginning, you just have to be strategic in when you're buying. You know what I mean? You just have to be strategic of, okay, can I get away with this till next month? If you're worried about meeting that quota,
Right.
it's just something in your head, man. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Well, I think we'll hit it this month because like I said, this is a good month. I think we'll get all.
And it's only going to get better too.
Oh yeah, we're barely starting the busy car season.
Yeah. And
You know what I mean?
it's going to take a year. That's what Matt Moore and I were talking when he brought it on. He's like, we did okay. We did all right. We made money. And then after the first year, you're like, you're in it. It's just, you start building that rapport. And so you'll be fine. You do good dent work. That's the biggest thing. The attention to detail. That's what people look at.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So-
true. It's yeah. Right on.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. I
Hey.
was excited. For
Yeah,
this
thanks,
show.
Eric.
I
Thanks for
asked him a
having me.
couple weeks ago. He's like, bro, we are just so busy. I'm trying to get in this shop. And I'm like, all right, you tell me when. And I reached out the other day and he was like, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, it's been a little hectic. Today was even more hectic. I'm like, but I'm not canceling. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Definitely been
Hey.
watching you. You're inspiration, and love your stuff, man. And
You
love
guys are
everything that
too,
you're
man.
doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are too.
Hope to
Thanks
see you
for
at
having me.
MT.
I'll be there. I'll be in Vegas, the Vegas one for sure.
All
Sweet.
right.
And Orlando. I don't want to hear that. Come on. You West Coast guys, now that we got Vegas again, aren't going to
I
come to
think
Orlando, but
I think the whole team will go to Orlando. we'll make
Orlando's
that
the way to
happen.
go. That's the good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
There you
that'll
go.
be fun.
Well,
All right,
Eric,
guys.
thanks again, brother. If you need anything, let me know.
I'll be
Thank-
reaching out. I got a couple questions for you. So,
100%. We'll talk.
Thanks for coming on, Eric.
all right. Thanks again, guys.
See
See
you.
ya.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Another good one. Eric's a good dude, man. I mean,
Really humble guy.
really good. I think he'll be fine.
He does amazing work too. He has a great shop, and
Yes.
it's awesome that he's growing now into the PPF and the other stuff.
What's your next step?
I'm honestly just waiting to get another unit. I feel like that's just what's holding me back.
Yeah.
The other little garage that I ended up picking up, it's great enough, but it's just it's not the right space for
Yeah.
for growth.
Yeah.
Been trying to talk to my neighbor more and more, and just waiting for that. But I think it's great that watching being here in the show is just like I'm learning a lot, and I now have someone that's working with me, and I know it's just a matter of time when that opportunity comes. It'll be the perfect timing. So
And that's a different dynamic for you too, is having somebody work with you.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
changes everything. You know what I mean? It's just a different way of scheduling, a different way of handling it, a different way of, hey, I need a hand with this.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's the only thing that I feel that even having him, that it's holding me back, because it's hard for me to really sell more work if I don't really have the dedicated space for him.
Yeah.
Can
Can I tell you a secret?
We've been making it happen though.
I'm going to
What's
tell you a
that?
secret.
What's that?
All you guys, you're never going to have enough space. It doesn't matter what you think. You're always like, oh, this space is going to be better. You're never going to have enough space.
Mm.
So is there space that's workable? Yes. Is there space that you look at things like if you wanted to add a service, you would need another space to add a service. It's impossible for your
Yeah.
situation. But there's never enough space.
Yep. So it's
Well,
good.
Manny,
Thanks for that advice.
you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too, right? Don't work too hard.
You know.
Everyone watching, thank you for joining us.
I'm excited for tomorrow. I've got a really, really big job that we're delivering tomorrow, and got some new things in the works for delivery on some of these larger cars for big money. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see the customer's reaction, and
Nice.
that's the fun part about our job. Even just dents, their reaction on the repairs and stuff. So that's the stuff I enjoy.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Have a good rest of your week, Manny. Have a great
Thank you. You too,
rest
Ryan.
of everybody's work. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Wash your hands. And we'll see you
on the
next week.
one.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Keep it real. Bye-bye.